You know, my new battle is with a gentleman named Ted Cruz, because you got to speak the truth. You got to speak the truth. The Canadian, the man from Canada. Thank you. That was very helpful. I don't know. That's so succinct. That was very good, actually. He screams out, the Canadian. Yeah, that's right, the Canadian. He could run right now for Prime Minister of Canada. He'd have no problem.
One day closer to the Iowa caucuses means only one thing. One more day filled with attacks, personal hit jobs, meaningless insults, and flailing about that have absolutely nothing to do with any of the issues that a future president and the voters should be concerned with. Leading us directly to what may be the most ridiculous attack of this POTUS cycle, what an 18-year-old has to say about his future. The future's right now. Let's dive headfirst without a net and without fear into the political animal pool, beginning with the senior political contributor at Forbes, the thinking man's liberal, announcing today that his show Steele and Ungar will be heard every weeknight from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM POTUS 124. Rick Ungar, joined by the former head of FEMA, afternoon radio talker at 630 KHOW in Denver, Colorado, who will now defy all assumptions and not use his time to say, I told you so, regarding the AFC Championship game, Michael Brown. That's it, right there. We stop right there. Let's move on. Gentlemen, good to talk to you.
I'd never say a word.
but boy, you'd like to.
We have it coming.
Oh, man.
Well,
How many sacks?
Okay. We have work to do, please, because I know it's coming and I'm willing to take it anytime. All right. Mr. Ungar, Tom DeLay, the former U.S. House Majority Leader, said on Monday right here on Newsmax that the FBI is ready to indict Hillary Clinton for using a private email server to conduct government business, saying she, one way or another, she is going to be indicted. Your reaction?
Well, first, thanks for the plug of my radio show going Monday through Friday. I appreciate it. Look, you know, Tom DeLay is not the first to say it. Those of us who try and run this stuff down, we've all been hearing hints and things about this from our various sources. We have to wait and see. I think it is something that's a real possibility. To deny that would be probably silly, but we don't yet know if it'll happen. So if the FBI does recommend it, though, if it does, I think it will go forward. All these people suggesting that Obama will squash it, that's not going to happen.
Mike, let's talk about what candidates say about each other. Donald Trump talks about Ted Cruz being a Canadian, which is a senseless issue. It's been settled. No reason to go any further than that. Let's be honest here. But this is a real issue. Should not the Republicans use this, jump right on this, and hammer away at it? Because sooner or later, something may indeed happen. This is something you need to talk about.
Oh, I think they need to talk about it. Look, the law's not settled because the Supreme Court has not made a decision about what the definition of a naturalized or natural-born citizen is. But I think based on the application of that phrase throughout history of this country, based on the practical implications of a soldier having a baby off base in Germany or someplace else, we know what a natural-born citizen is. And I wish they would
letting it sit there. Hang on a sec. Let's let that sit there, because you're right. But with regard to Hillary Clinton and the FBI, should not Republicans take that? Because this is a real issue, not just one of these made-up issues. You should use that right away and jump on it.
Oh, absolutely, because the mishandling of classified material, look, cost a friend of mine, David Petraeus, an awful lot. Cost him money, cost him some rank. He's on probation. He's a felon. And from my experience in Homeland Security, with all the problems and issues that we had about continuity of operations, continuity of government, all of those things post 9/11, the handling of classified documents is incredibly important. And if there's even any question of or if she did any of these things that have been alleged, the FBI should recommend prosecution. And now we're faced with the issue of, does the Department of Justice prosecute and do the right thing, or is the rule of law dead and we just now politicize everything? I think it's a huge issue, and they should talk about it.
Rick, let's go to something else here. The video of Ted Cruz that is making the viral rounds right now, where as an 18-year-old he says, I'm going to take over the world domination, rule everything. Come on. We have now gone from the ridiculous to the sublime. Isn't this just an 18-year-old kid saying that, and we have just got to let this kind of garbage go?
Yeah, but I got a huge kick out of it because I have been writing for a couple of years now that Rand Paul and Ted Cruz are the equivalent of Pinky and the Brain, if you've ever watched that cartoon. Now, in that cartoon, the Brain always gets up in the morning trying to figure out what he will do today to take over the world. And then along comes Ted Cruz, and he validates everything I've said. At 18,
an 18-year-old. Come on, Rick Ungar, did you not want to take over the world when you were 18? Sure you did.
No, I had other things. I was trying to take over some new guitars at 18, not the world.
All right, I got about 60 seconds left here. Back to you, Brownie. When conservative commentator Glenn Beck came out against Donald Trump in a National Review essay, Donald Trump came out with a tweet. Basically, Glenn Beck's a sad answer to Sarah Palin's endorsement. Cruz desperately wanted. He's a failing, crying, lost soul. Really, the insult levels have gone so far here, but why should anybody be concerned who Glenn Beck wants for president? Is this really a big deal for the GOP?
No, it's not a big deal, but honestly, here's what I'm tired of. Look, Glenn Beck and I are not really friends. He doesn't like me. He said we don't get along very well, to put it kindly. But having said that, why can't we have these debates on the merit? Why can't we have these arguments about, okay, Glenn Beck said this, here's why he's wrong, as opposed to he's a crying, weeping baby. Let's actually elevate the conversation.
Because let's be very honest, Glenn Beck is a serious guy. He's been doing this for a long time. He will have some things to say, and why not? He should be respected as much as anybody else.
Guys, I have to point this
out.
And
that's why I wish
Michael's
Trump,
party that
for all those people who are fans of Trump, really, don't you want to hear some substantive response as opposed to just the ad hominem attacks all the time about, you're ugly, or you're a crybaby, or you're
to you, Rick, 10 seconds.
Yeah, I agree with everything Michael's saying, but let's not let it get lost. It is Michael's party that is responding to this. It isn't Democrats who are buying, maybe some, who are buying into the Trump thing of insulting his way to the nomination.
And we are
While you may not like the Democratic candidates, at least they are having some substantive debate.
That's the last word. Michael Brown, Rick Ungar, thanks for joining us. Go Broncos. Why not?